So, it's gonna do something a little different today. Girlfriend's car needs rear brakes. So we're gonna do a brake video on how to replace your rear pads and rotors on a 2012 Buick Enclave. This would work for a GMC Terrain or a Chevy, oh geez, I forgot what their version is, but it's the same thing for all three. So, stick around, let's get these brakes changed out. Here's a look at some basic hand tools you'll need. Hand tools and power tools. I have a C-clamp, a good set of 3/8 sockets. I have a 3/8 socket driver. You could use a normal ratchet, a pry bar, torque stick, socket wrench, impact gun, your brake grease, because that's very important, and then just a way to clean the bracket out once we get that off. I'm going to use a power drill with a brush on it instead of a hand brush, just for the sake of time. Step one, we're going to lift up the back end, so let's chalk block the fronts. Throw our chalk blocks here, get them set on both sides, then we'll come under here and lift the back end of the vehicle. Alright, now we're going to take the tire off. You can do this with the tire iron that comes in the spare trunk area where the spare tire would be. You can get a breaker bar and a 22mm socket. For the sake of speed, I have my Milwaukee 1/2-inch impact gun. Sometimes the socket gets stuck with a lug nut in it, so you gotta get the lug nut out. There we go. Lug nuts are a little swollen. There's our lug nuts. Zip off this last one.
I think the tire fell off. Yep, it did.
Now, as an extra layer of precaution, I'm going to lay the tire under the vehicle so that if the vehicle falls, the tire will catch it. Now that we're here, got the tire off, we can see our brake rotor, and that is ugly. It is definitely ugly. We got our brake caliper, our brake bracket. Both those have to come off. And then we also have a bolt right here that holds the rotor to the hub. So all that's going to have to come off. First, we can take the caliper off. There's a couple 13mm bolts back here. That'll take that off. Up top, down below. Then same thing with our bracket back here. One back here, one down there. So let's get to that. I'm just going to leave that in place for a second. Oh. But I did kind of screw up. Screw that one in a little bit. I wanted to leave it in a little bit, but apparently I took it out too much. Break our bottom one loose. Now we can break it out. There we go. Done correctly, we can take the caliper off with this bolt up here. Just take the whole slide out. First though, we're going to compress that piston. While it's still on, I'm just going to push against the front outer brake pad, the outer brake pad, and on the back of the bolt for the hose, and this will allow me to compress the piston without even have to take the caliper off. Get this out of the way. Now our caliper's loose. We can take the whole upper slide out with the caliper, and our piston is already compressed. So we got our slide, it's out, we'll tighten that up. Our piston is pretty well compressed already. Right going to just hang this out of the way, not by the brake hose. Lean it back here somewhere. There we go. Now we can get our brake pads out. Use our pry bar in here. There's the outer, or the inner, I'm sorry. There's our outer brake pad. Now for our bracket bolts, we have our 21mm wrench here. There's one here. There's one down there. Just like our caliper, there's two bolts, but they're different sizes. So we're going to get on here. And these ones can get really tight. So I like to do this little trick where I take my wrench, and I have a gear wrench here, but you can do it with a normal wrench. Take two wrenches, give you a little more leverage, and use that leverage to hopefully break it loose. Once you get them broke loose, and these ones were really tight, they will come out nice and easy. And there's our brake bracket. Our pad's right in there. This is where our slides go. This one's still in. You want to make sure they're freed up, not seized or anything. Like I said, the other one is still right up there on the caliper. So they both moved fine. We'll knock out the hardware, put new grease in that. Next part we got to take off is our rotor. To do that, we got to take this bolt out here. You can buy this little impact driver at most parts stores. It has a T30 on it. That's important. It's got to fit right in there. Leave the GM do something stupid like that. But put it in here. You want to twist it while you hit it with a hammer. A couple love taps, and that bolt will come right out. And just like that, there's our rotor. Working down here on the ground. Alright, so we have our brake bracket. We need to clean this up. I took the hardware out. These are called your brake hardware. Alright, little spacers, anti-rattle clips, hardware, same thing. We're going to clean up the rust in these areas here of the bracket. We're going to grease our slides, then we're going to grease our hardware after we clean those up. And to do that, I'm just going to use a simple power drill with a steel wire brush on it. One side. And two side. Now we'll clean our hardware up. Also do that side a little bit. Right up there. There, almost nice clean. Get that back in place. No, right, just like that. I'll do the same thing. Brake hardware. Put that one back in our bracket. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, I'm going to take our brake grease, little CRC action going on here. We're going to grease up right where the pads are going to slide and move. just like that. Once we get that done, we're going to pull out our remaining slide. Doesn't need a whole lot of cleaning. It's still got good grease on it. If it was a little rusty, I'd take the steel wire brush to it, clean the rust off, and grease it up. But we're just going to apply some more grease to it, put it back in the bracket, spin it, make sure we get grease all in there. Alright, now let's get our rotor put on the rest of the way and get buttoned up, and we'll start putting it back together. So here's our rotor. It's up on the hub. We got to reinstall the screw that holds the rotor in place to the hub, just like this. Lined up the hole of the rotor with the hole of the hub. Just going to thread that back in. Now it's important when you do this, it gets tight there, push the rotor back and get it the rest of the way seated so it's nice and flush to the hub. And just like that, boom, there's our rotor reinstalled. We put the weather plug in here, down here at the bottom, took that out of the old one, put our bolt in. Let's put our bracket on. Alright, there's the bracket. We got our dust shield here. Now we'll take our caliper, make sure we don't twist up the brake hose. We'll put a little brake grease on the slide here. Put that back in the top. Just like that. And then, ow! Try not to pinch your fingers. Just like that. Tighten those back up. Yep, you want to make sure these are tight. You don't want these coming loose going down the road. So snug them up real good. Now we should be about ready to put our tire back on. We can spin it quick by hand. I can hear the brake pads against the rotor, but that is nothing obnoxious, nothing to worry about. See how the tire wants to kick out at the bottom? That's the natural inclinivity of that. I always like to start one here at the bottom just to hold it in a little bit. Just like that, so the rest of them are all exposed nicely. And then once we get all of the lug nuts started, when we go to do our little pattern, because we want to torque our tires down in pattern, you always start the pattern at the bottom. I'll start here, go to here, go over to this one, then over to here, and then here. And then I'll go around one more time, but you want to do it in a pattern. I have a 100 foot-pound snap-on torque stick on here so I don't over-tighten the lug nuts. And we'll just zip them right down. Now we can just go around the whole circle. Just double check, make sure we don't miss any. Just like that. Tires on. Pull our jack stand out of the way. We're good to let the car down. It's really important before you try to pull out with the car after doing any brake job that you pump the brakes up. So it doesn't matter if it's front brakes, rear brakes, even if you're doing something just to remove the calipers, wheel bearings or such like that, ball joints that you have to remove the caliper, you should definitely pump the brakes by pressing the piston end of the caliper to remove it. The space there is going to be too much that when you put it in drive, the car's just going to take off. And if you do that, who knows where you're going to end up. I've seen guys in the bays wrecking the cars behind them because they threw it in reverse, didn't pump their brakes, and, well, bad things happen. So it's good at practice. Get in, pump that brake pedal, and you'll feel it's going to be kind of mushy. Just pump it up till you have a really nice, firm brake pedal, and that should be all you need. 6-7 times on that, and you'll be fine. But with that, that's our brake job. Now we'll take it for a test drive just to make sure that everything's right and tight, but I'm pretty certain it will be. This has been Placing Your Rear Pads and Rotors on your Buick Enclave. Hope you enjoyed. If this helped, leave a comment and a like. Appreciate you all. Have a good night.